Street vending in Kampala is mostly done by young people who have almost nothing to their name. Many of them come to the city with big dreams but empty pockets. They are not lazy. They are not criminals. They are simply trying to survive. They borrow or save a small amount of money. They buy tomatoes, phone accessories, clothes, or snacks. And the day begins. They stand in the hot sun. They walk long distances, face rain, hunger, insults, and sometimes arrests. Street vending is not their dream. It is a starting point.
You can't start trading by hiring a shop of 4-3 million. You are going to start by vending, then you enter a shared shop, then you can move on your own, and then you can start importing things and so on. So for you to build that level of sophistication, you must start by understanding the operations of the value chain. So street vending, therefore, is important.
It is the small door they hope will lead to a bigger shop, a stable business, a better life. And yet, we rarely hear their stories. We do not hear about the young mother selling fruit to pay school fees. We do not hear about the graduates selling belts because no office job came. We do not hear about the boy who sends half his daily earnings back home to support his siblings. They are visible on every street, but their pain is invisible. What does Kampala Capital City Authority say to this young person?
We are a country of youth. We are a very youthful country. So most of the people who are in business or who are entrepreneurs are youth. But that doesn't mean that as youth we should trade in irregular spaces. So
Kampala's streets are full of elderly women, tired, yet carrying Uganda's future on their backs. Each pays to stay, each prays to survive.
the number of street vendors keeps moving depending on the season and depending on the level of economic activity as well as movements within markets within the city. We do not have an exact number, but they would range between 200 to 500. That is from the vendors' associations that have come to us and that have sought workspaces before.
This woman, who prefers to go by the name Susan Ajok to protect her identity, is 38 years old and comes from Tesaba in Lira district. She came to Kampala in 2017, hoping to find a better life. With no money for rent, she lived on the streets for 2 years before she was finally able to save enough to rent a small room in Chireka. Her life, however, has been filled with challenges, especially with the Kampala Capital City Authority enforcement officers. They often confiscate her goods and threaten her with imprisonment. To avoid jail, she must pay large fines that she can rarely afford.
When the enforcement officers take our merchandise, they demand a lot of money to return it. They know we cannot afford it, so when we fail to pay, they keep our goods.
I've often and every now and then advise the public that if you see any of our enforcement officers and we number them, they have numbers that are tagged to their names and employment file that are extorting money from the public, please report them.
Ajok had 5 children. One of them was born with a heart condition. In January last year, when her child's health worsened, she took her to Milago Hospital but could not afford the required fees. Desperate, she left the child under the care of a young helper at the hospital and returned to the streets to try and raise money for selling guavas and coconuts. Unfortunately, KCCA officers arrested her despite her showing them the hospital forms. She was detained at Lizira for 3 days before being taken to court at City Hall. She was not released until her ex-husband raised 150,000 shillings to bail her out.
I was arrested on Friday. On Saturday and Sunday, I was detained at Luzira. On Monday, I was taken to the City Hall court. They refused to release me. I had to call my ex-husband, who paid 150,000 shillings for my release.
When she returned to the hospital, she found her child weak and starving. Well-wishers had been feeding the baby in her absence. Seeing her child in that condition broke her heart. Not long after, she suffered a severe asthma attack and was admitted to the same hospital. Sadly, her child died at just 2 years and 4 months old.
After my child died, I went back to the streets to survive. I borrowed 300,000 shillings from a friend to start again. I bought merchandise, but before I could even sell anything, KCCA enforcement officers confiscated all my goods.
Ajok's husband had already left her, though he was the one who helped bail her out of jail. They have now separated for 2 years. Left alone with her surviving children, she has had to fend for them by returning to street vending. She says life on Kampala's streets is harsh. From 5 a.m. to 9 p.m., enforcement officers patrol the roads, confiscating vendors' property. She explains that vending on the streets is their only way to survive, especially because children must attend school and failure to attend them could lead to arrest by authorities.
I don't know what we are supposed to do in this country. Life in Uganda has become very difficult. From 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., KCCA patrol vans move around taking our goods. How are we supposed to take care of our children? They need school fees and they need food.
Ajok and other vendors cannot afford market space. In Kisenyi Market, for example, they were told to pay 500,000 shillings per month for rent, an amount far beyond their means. The stalls are small and customers rarely visit, so selling on the streets brings in slightly better income.
At one point, we were told to relocate to Kisenyi Market, but when we reached there, we were asked to pay 500,000 shillings for space. Where can a woman like me get that kind of money? The market is also hidden and customers do not go there. How are we supposed to survive?
All KCCA markets are free. All of them, the 16 plus one now that will come up. They are free. We don't pay rent or market rent, as you may call it. It is only the people who bring things into the market. If you bring a truck of matoke into the market, you're the one who will pay a market due. But space within the market is free.